Welcome to the PFC podcast. I'm your host, Coach Mike Payton. I'm a certified personal trainer, and I'll be giving you tips and tricks on how to improve your overall fitness and help you make progress in the gym. Let's get right into the show. Today, we're talking about stretching. We're going to cover a few different things in this episode. The first thing we're going to cover is how to stretch effectively. So just different things that are going to help you to stretch the best. Should you stretch before you work out? Does stretching help with soreness? And how often you should be stretching? So let's get right into it. How should you stretch? The research shows that you should stretch from anywhere around like 30 to 60 seconds to really effectively affect muscle length. So if you're trying to become really, really flexible and you want to get your splits, the best thing that you can do is hold a stretch for about 60 seconds. If you're really trying to get a good stretch in there. And then I would say per stretching time, I would do about 3 sets. So similar to how exercise works, if you break it up into sets, you kind of help to relax that muscle and then and even help the nervous system get primed in order to increase that muscle length. Because not only does like actual muscle contractile like tissue affect flexibility, but also your nervous system, your central nervous system affects how flexible muscles are. So if you are really raw, like you just got into the gym, or it's cold outside, you're going to be less flexible than you would be if like it was warm out or you had been moving a little while, just because of increased blood flow, but also your nervous system is a little bit more relaxed and ready to fire better. So to stretch effectively, you have to kind of do it in sets to help like warm up the muscle, get it moving, kind of relax the nervous system to allow that really good stretch. And I would say 3 sets of 60 seconds, 30 seconds is perfect. And that kind of leads into one of the other questions, one of the other points that I wanted to hit today, which is, should you stretch before you work out? So a lot of people, especially like whenever I started like working out and stuff, a lot of people did stretch before they worked out. And there's a few problems with that, and we can get into a few different points with this. One, there's some research to show that if you stretch, you can actually decrease muscular performance. And so if you're really trying to maintain your muscular power output, your strength output, then you want to, I would say you want to stretch no more than 30 seconds. So 15 to 30 seconds has been shown to maintain that like performance versus just increasing the length of the tissue. So if you're trying to maintain your muscular strength, you should stretch 15 to 30 seconds. But if you want to like warm up for a workout, I wouldn't recommend stretching because of what it does to the muscle. It relaxes it, and actually can help to put you in a like rest and digest state. So it's actually really calming. So that's not super helpful for a workout. You actually want to get into a state of fight or flight, or more of a state of fight or flight whenever you go into a workout, because then you're going to have a better like performance in that workout than you would if you were like really tired. Like think about if you were really tired going into the gym, like you're about to fall asleep, like you got off a long shift at work, you go into the gym for a good workout, but like you're falling asleep, man, that's probably not going to be a good workout. Like, and we all kind of intuitively know that, I think. But if you had a really good day at work, it wasn't super long, you get into the gym, you're awake, you're on, like you're probably going to have a good workout. And it's the same kind of thing. Your warm up can play into that a lot too. So if you did have a really bad day at work and a really long day and you're really tired, about to fall asleep, you go run on the treadmill. That can help to get you in that state of fight or flight, which can in turn help you to improve your performance during your workout, and ultimately help you with like your strength and muscular gains in the long term. So what I would recommend doing prior to your workout is not necessarily stretching, but more of mobility work. So getting those major joints moving in wide ranges of motion. And there's going to be a stretching component to that. Like you're going to feel stretch at some for some of them, but like you're not you're not doing static stretching. You're not holding it for 15 to 30 to 60 seconds. You're more just moving it through deeper ranges of motion, to help wake up that nervous system, to help wake you up, and to get you into that state of fight or flight in order to really hit that workout really hard. Some examples of some mobility work are like some windmills, some like a 90-90 hip drill. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can easily Google it. But basically, you bend your knees 90 degrees, you sit down on your butt so that your hip is also at 90 degrees. Both hips are kind of similar to a pigeon stretch, except the back leg isn't stretched out behind you. It's out to the side. So you're getting a good glute stretch, but you kind of move back and forth within it. And normally what I'll do is 10-second hold, 8-second hold, 6-second hold, 4-second hold, 2-second hold, 2-second hold. And that kind of gets you moving, gets a nice stretch in the glute, but doesn't, you're not holding it for an extended period of time. And I would also recommend some priming exercises. So for example, if you're doing a bench press and you have a tendency, like if you're doing a bench press day and you have a tendency to, like one arm goes up faster than the other. Sometimes what can happen is like your back muscles aren't, like, for lack of a better term, firing. And so if we can kind of wake those muscles up and really mostly get you feeling what those muscles feel like to contract. So doing a banded lat pull down or like a band pull apart, and to get those rhomboids, lower traps, lats, like engaged. That way you can feel what it feels like to contract those muscles. That way, whenever you go into the bench press, you're able to position your shoulder blades in a good position for that bench press. And that will generally prevent that one arm lag that you would get. That's just an example of it. There's a multitude of examples. You can do priming stretches for squats and deadlifts and whatever other main lift that you want to do that day. But as a general rule, I would say do mobility and priming exercises, or if you have a physical therapist, doing some of your rehab exercises prior to the workout can be really good. So I would not say to stretch before you work out. And that brings us to point number 3. Does stretching help with soreness? From what I understand, the answer to that is basically no. Now, I will say that it can be helpful to stretch because it can keep you moving on the days that you are sore. And it can help to put you in that state of rest and digest, which is going to help you with that healing process, which can be really good for your like recovery. So if you do like a recovery day, main thing is rest. Rest is important. If you're not resting, you're not gaining. Yeah, I'll say that again. If you're not resting, you're not going to be gaining. So if stretching helps you relax and rest, by all means do it. But it's not necessarily going to have a direct impact on how sore you are. Um, but it can help with keeping things moving, because it is good to stay moving. Now, if you want another good recovery day activity, doing like a little walk, like a low intensity walk, can be good. Um, just because you're moving and you're not like sitting on your couch eating Doritos and watching Netflix, Excuse me. So doing things on recovery days can be really good. But main thing is to recover. If sitting on your couch playing video games is what you do, great, that's fine. But moving is also good, just nothing high impact. And that brings us to our last point: is how often should you stretch? Now, it depends on your goals. So there's also been research done where people will do some stretching during their workout. So stretching for like 10 to 15 seconds doesn't really affect muscle performance. And so actually during your workout, stretching those muscles can be beneficial. I heard one article that stated something about being like it actually improving muscle hypertrophy by stretching those muscles like during your workout. Now, I don't know how true that is, but you can stretch during your workout. That way you're not getting like really tight. But again, it depends on your goals. So if you're focused on muscle performance, stretching isn't super important unless you have some pretty severe mobility deficits where stretching is going to improve those. So say you have a squat depth deficit, and the thing hindering you is your tight calf muscle. Like you got a tight Achilles, you got a tight gastroc, soleus. And so stretching could actually be really beneficial there. And the more you stretch, the like more effective it's going to be, because you're really trying to tell the body, hey, we need this. And so by giving it that signal over and over, day after day, you're going to have a much better outcome with that than if you just stretched once a week or just whenever you did the squat. But if you do it every day, then you're going to have a much better outcome with that than if you just stretch once a week. So if you're having some pretty major mobility deficits, I would say stretch every day, maybe even twice a day. Do a 3 sets in the morning, 3 sets in the evening, before you go to bed, whenever you wake up, or before you work out, before you go to bed. Stretching, like I said, stretching can be really good for getting in that state of rest and digest. So if you have trouble sleeping, that could actually be something to do before you go to bed to help you sleep better, because it can be very calming. So if you're really trying to get that stretch, if you're really trying to get that mobility back, like maybe you had an injury, it got tight, stretching can be really good. And I would say do it every day. Now, if you're an athlete who needs that flexibility, like a martial artist, like a traditional martial artist, or a ballerina, or maybe even a gymnast, you might need to stretch every day just for that. Not just during those training sessions, but every day. And I guarantee, like if you have the goal of, I want to be able to do the splits, stretching the splits every day is going to be the key. But if you're just trying to get muscle performance, stretching is not really that important. And like I said, unless you have some pretty severe mobility deficits, then it can be really beneficial. So I hope this helped. You can follow me if you want more information on Instagram, and that would be Coach Mike Payton. You can follow me on Facebook. That would be Michael Payton. And then you can follow me on YouTube and, of course, here on Spotify. Thank you.